A few months back, Canva acquired Leonardo AI, and now they've released an image generator powered by Leonardo. It's called Dreamlab. Let's take a look. From the Canva dashboard, we can get to it in a couple of ways. We can click this Make Me an Image button, and also over on the left, down at the bottom, you have an icon for Dreamlab. If you don't see either of those buttons, you can also try going up to your URL bar and typing in canva.com/dream-lab. Once you're on the Dreamlab page, you have the prompt box, you have a style selection button, you have your aspect ratio selection, of course the create button, and then down below your past generations. To use it, just type in a prompt, come down here to your style selector and decide what style you want. You have 20 options to choose from. You can leave this on none. I don't recommend that. I'm going to pick cinematic and I'll hit the create button. Generation speed for me has been pretty fast, maybe 10-15 seconds. Your 4 variations pop up. There's no setting to adjust how many you want it to create. They're kind of small, at least for these eyes. If you click on it, it makes it a little bit bigger there in the center of the screen. We do have dogs. They're in a dog park. Looks like maybe the dogs are leashed to each other, at least the ones here in the foreground. If you want to use the image in a Canva design, just click the purple button right here, and it pops you into a new design that's the aspect ratio of the image that you created. Now, if you want to download the image from this little preview modal, you click the download button. It opens up the image in the browser, but it doesn't automatically download it. You need to right click and save image as to do that. And since it's not opening up in a new browser tab, but the tab that we're already in, we have to use the browser's back button to get back to the Dreamlab. I'm assuming that's not the functionality that Canva is really going for, and they'll fix that, but right now, that's how it works. If you're on your generations page and you want to download, hover the image and you have a little download button in the bottom left corner of it. Also, from the generations page, you can click the edit button, which is the bottom right hand corner of any particular image, and that brings you into a new Canva design with your image in the design and then the edit image panel open on the left. If you click the 3 little dots in the upper right hand corner, you have add it to a design, create design, edit image, you can delete it, and you can also report it. Let's take a look at these other 3 generations. We've got some happy pups running around the park, and at the 1:1 aspect ratio, the resolution is 1120 by 1120. Here's our 3rd variation. I think these doggos might be having a marathon there. I wish there were arrows here to go forward and back through the different variations of one generation, but there's not. Look at our last image. Ooh, this is a crowded doggy park. Let's go ahead and click download so that we can see it bigger. It's not super detailed. The faces here, although you could say they're in the background, leave a little to be desired. Even our doggy faces that are front and center are not what I would call HD. So what about these styles? We have 20 different styles here. What is the difference? What I've found so far is that leaving this on smart and not setting a style doesn't get me anything close to what I want. I'll show you an example. Here I was trying to create a late night chess match between a wizened barbershop owner and a young apprentice barber. They all just had this softness or sheen that isn't realistic. When I enhanced my prompt and made it much longer and more detailed, hoping I would get the realistic quality that I was looking for, instead I got something that looked more 3D Pixar style. And that was not it at all. We were going the wrong direction. And don't pay any attention to these chessboards because I don't think they're right at all. And this has got to be like the youngest apprentice barber. I don't know. There's probably a labor law against that or something. I switched up to a different prompt and I was looking for basically a guy waiting to cross the street, and I went ahead and specified a 25-year-old man because for whatever reason in a lot of image generators, if you say a man and you don't give a lot of descriptive detail, it just wants to turn it into an 80-year-old fisherman with wrinkled leathery skin. And look, there's nothing wrong with 80-year-old men with wrinkled leathery skin. I just don't need it in every single image. So again, like with my barbershop image, this came out just too cartoony. It's not what I would call a candid snapshot at all. And never mind that he's supposed to be waiting to cross the street at an intersection, and instead he's just kind of standing in the middle of the crosswalk. I thought candid snapshot would have told it we're looking for photorealistic, but it didn't, so I reworked that prompt a little bit and added in stunning 4K hyper-realistic detail, and this is what it came up with. I'll hit the download button so you can see it. This is more photographic. The hands look good. They're there's some detail here that's pretty cool, like this one hair strand coming down in his forehead. I did notice that for a guy waiting to cross the street, he's kind of got his back to the street. So then it finally dawned on me to use one of those styles and see if that helped. And sure enough, it did. This is cinematic. This looks like an actual photograph. And he's actually in a spot where he might be crossing the street. This is the second variation from that generation. The face is a little bit less realistic, but I think the bigger issue that we have in this image is that we have the traffic just coming up on the sidewalk, and he seems unfazed by that. Our third variation for this generation, now it looks like it did something a little goofy here around the tip of his nose. It looks like it's got some kind of deformity going on. Now you could probably work that out maybe with an upscaler or an image editor. And the middle finger on his left hand seems to have an issue. Maybe he's headed off to urgent care to have that addressed. The last variation in that set, I get a weird cartoonish style to the character's face and doesn't look realistic at all. And over on the right, we have this weird separation line. He also has his two hands seem to be morphed into one. I went ahead and tried cinematic concept, and this is the first variation of that. My man's just sitting in the median. He done gave up on crossing the street. He's just hanging out, reading his phone. The image does look fairly realistic. It's what I asked for. The second variation of this one, same thing. But we've got the right number of fingers. I like that the hair's kind of mussed up a bit there. The third variation of that one, well, we've assumed a different sort of kneeling position here, not exactly waiting to walk across the street. If we can assume that he is on the sidewalk, this vehicle is way too close for comfort. And then in our last variation, the rip in the knee of his jeans just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It does look realistic. It does look like a candid snapshot. The fingers are plausibly accurate. The background, I like the blurry. It's doing okay there. I just don't know that I've ever seen anybody kneel down like this at an intersection waiting to cross. I wanted to show you as many of these different styles as I could, so I just used the prompt, a woman holding up a sign that reads Dream Lab, and I wanted to just click through and all the different styles, hit create, and then come back and show you what they did. The problem is that if I click the three dots, there's nothing that tells me image information. If I click on the image to get to this preview modal, there's nothing here that tells me anything about the model that I used, or the style that was used to create this image. But I'm going to show them to you anyway. I can guess quite a few of them. Some of them I'm not sure. This first round, I just left the style on smart. With a really simple prompt like that, it left a lot open to the AI's creativity. All it needs to have is a woman holding up a sign that reads Dream Lab. And it got it right on 3 out of 4. This last one, it has 2 B's in lab. I intentionally left out including the style in my prompt. Like, I did not put a photograph, a snapshot, an illustration, as I wanted to leave it all up to the style selection to figure out what to do with it. So I reran that again, and this style, I believe I used cinematic for this one. This is the weirdest way anyone could possibly hold a sign. It almost got the spelling right, but if you look at that M, that's not an M. Here we have a very angry woman holding up a Dream Lab sign in a busy city. Nice background blur, and I like the lighting. This one got the spelling right. I'm not sure exactly what the setting is here because it's well blurred out. This lady has 5 fingers in addition to her thumb. And then our last one added an I into the dream for Dream Lab. I can't recall if this generation was cinematic concept. I'm just not sure. But we got a poor angel here that's just got one wing. Here our woman's holding up a neon sign that's misspelled in front of another neon sign that's misspelled. This is an incredibly creative interpretation of a woman holding up a sign that reads Dream Lab. It's pretty cool though. And our final variation from that round. This is another one that I can't remember which style I used, but I think all 4 of them got the prompt right and got the spelling correct. This one is definitely stock photo, and these look like stock photos. It added professional to my sign in this one. In this last one, I don't know what it did. It added an N and an M together to make that weird character, and added an I. So it's Dream Lab. This is using the Moody style. I'm giving it credit for spelling Dream Lab right. It's just the effect here of the scene that's cutting off part of the D. This one is strange. It looks like the M of the dream is being merged right into the wall there. And the look on her face. I mean, there's probably a use for something like that, but she's giving me the creeps. Here it seems moody, and it's a woman holding the sign that's spelled right. It did what it was supposed to do. This last one for Moody, this one is really cool. It looks like the sign she's holding up is lit, and this is definitely a Moody image. The two lights coming in behind her, just sort of framing her on either side, and then the light popping out of the sign. That's an inspiring composition and style. This is with the pop art style. He gave me two Dreamlab signs on this one that's sort of reminiscent of a Rosie the Riveter. Here we added some letters that don't exist. This one I guess is technically spelled correctly, and this one merged two M's together to make a character. But otherwise, it's pop art style, it's a woman holding a sign. I can't remember if this is the vibrant or the creative style, because it's definitely both of those, vibrant and creative. She's got a lot of fingers, the sign is coming apart and has different letters that shouldn't be there. This one came out really nice though. The Dreamlab is spelled right. This is a neat looking sign, 3D letters in the shadow box that's lighted on the sides, and the woman doesn't have like a whole bunch of extra fingers or a third arm or anything. This version has a lot of intricacies in its 3D sign, and the final version of that, it is spelled correctly, and I can't find anything else to pick on about that image. Next we have illustration. It's an illustration of a woman holding up the sign that's spelled correctly. This one did an illustration within an illustration. Here we have a more fancy font, and it seems to have spelled it all correctly. And in the final version of that one, it is cropped off at the top, which I wouldn't be too crazy about. I am not sure which style I used for this one. Very nice image. The spelling on the sign is correct, although it's a little small. The fingers look great. I'm thinking this might have been Sketch. This one as well. Dreamlab is spelled correctly. Lots of detail in the woman's face. I'm not sure what's going on here. Definitely didn't get our sign right, and the AI must have got a little twisted up between what an A and an M is and sort of merged them all together, and yeah, that didn't work. But to make up for it, it added a sixth finger to her left hand. And this generation might have been the 3D style. We end up with two women, and neither one of them's really holding up this sign. She's sort of just doing a Vanna White with the sign. Nice sign, not so crazy about the woman. There's something weird in the eyes with whatever this style is. The signs are looking really good though. This one really looks like a piece of wood that was painted white and has Dreamlab on it. And then the last style is Sketch black and white. Here we have two women, not one, and we have Ream for our sign, so that's a no-go. This is definitely a woman, Dreamlab holding the sign. I imagine there's a woman behind there. And our last version of the Sketch black and white style. So what do we know about prompts here? What they say in the prompt box is describe the image in a few words. Now what I found was the demo images had very detailed descriptions, so it kind of makes sense that if that's what they use to get good results, that's probably what we would want to use too. I've done a mix of using really short prompts and using pretty long and detailed prompts. It looks like it can handle either one. Going forward, it's something that I'll try the alternative. If I use a short prompt and it doesn't get me what I want, I'll probably go more detailed and vice versa. If you're not seeing Dreamlab show up on your Canva dashboard, it could be due to access restriction. For instance, there's an age restriction, so if you're under 13, it's not supposed to let you have access to it. It can also be disabled by your admin if you're on a team plan and somebody else controls it. Now, Canva doesn't address it in this article, but there may also be country or regional restrictions since it's generative AI. And Canva does say it's not available to everyone just yet, but it's coming. If you don't have it yet, you should have it soon. If you're not seeing the button on your homepage, you can try to type in the URL directly and see if it gets you there. The next question is, do I have to be a pro subscriber to use it? And is it all you can eat? And the answer is kinda and no. Canva free users have 20 lifetime Dreamlab uses. That means you get to try it out 20 times and then that's that. And pro teams, nonprofits, Canva for Education get 500 uses per month. So if you're a one-man show like me, that's just 500 per month. But if you're on a team of 10 people, you have a team subscription of 10 people, each member would get 500 uses per month. And those refresh on the first of the month. Now, when I was working with this yesterday and last night, and I believe yesterday was the day it was released, I would occasionally type in a prompt, hit create, and get a message that said, we're busy, everybody's trying to use this, try again later. So far today, I have not encountered that message, and I assume that's a temporary issue with folks trying out the new thing, like me, and Canva figuring out exactly what kind of resources they need to support everything. This video is not sponsored by Canva. I am not an affiliate, but I really do like Canva. I use it almost every day. I'm very happy to see Leonardo things coming into Canva. There's a little bit of wonkiness in the navigation, just as far as like if you're on that preview modal and you want to get a large size preview, it opens up the browser tab to just that image, and you got to do a few clicks to get it to download and then hit the back button to get where you were. I'm assuming Canva will fix that. I certainly hope they will, and add a few other just little things that could make it better. As far as the image generations go, it's pretty good. I miss having some of the control that I have in Leonardo, but on the other hand, the simplicity is also nice. The fact that it's built right into Canva is cool. Some of the images that it created, if I wanted to use those at any decent size, I would absolutely have to take them and upscale and enhance and make the details right. But an 1120 by 1120 for a square image or whatever it was, 1472 by 832 for a 16 by 9 image, depending on what you're working on, that might be plenty. If I need something for a thumbnail, this is more than enough. If you need it for social media where, you're constrained to 1,000 or 1,500 pixels one way or the other, this is probably going to do the job. I think they're off to a great start. I'm looking forward to see where it goes next, and I hope you'll be hanging out with me as we do. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in the next video.